got background music tonight.
We got background music. There we go.
Sorry, I needed a little Bo Cephas after that intro song.
There you go. Hey, good evening, everybody. Guns on the 701 here tonight. I can't believe episode 86 already.
86.
August will come up on just about 2 years, so kind of a amazing thing. I didn't think we'd still be here this long. So, hey, we got some special guests tonight that are going to be joining us. And Tess and Andrew Talley, how we doing from Texas? And she's got a really interesting story and some things that have been happening. But before we get started and jump in, we're going to do like we do every single night and pay recognition to our Second Amendment.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Absolutely. Thank you. We had Andrew read that tonight. And I'll tell you what, I think it's becoming more and more important, just as I say this, I think just about every week, as we keep running through. Just like today, I was watching some of the congressional hearings on my phone without trying to do some work. Wow. They've got Biden by the cojones now if they do anything with it. I don't know if anybody saw it, but wow. It's just, I don't know. I keep your powder dry and your guns close because I think it's coming, guys. I really do.
You know what's funny about the Second Amendment, Clay, is my educational background. I was kicked out of school in the 8th grade. But I understand the Second Amendment, every word of it. It's not hard to understand.
No,
but
it's not.
We have all these highly educated politicians that don't seem to understand it.
No, and that was written in plain English for a reason. Most people at that time were not educated. Our founders, several of them were, some of them were not. And that is why they wrote it the way they did. It was so that everybody could understand it. They could read, essentially. It's not a complicated document. I mean, the Second Amendment, simple 27 words. There's no interpreting it. It's take it at face value because that's how it was intended. But, it gets in the muddy waters.
Well, we talked a lot about it last week about how they're trying to legislate it to death is what they're trying to do. I mean, just at every single angle in every single state, there's always somebody bringing up the craziest ways to chip away at that Second Amendment. So that's the rough spot.
Over 22,000 laws on the book since the Second Amendment was written. Over 22,000 laws against the Second Amendment.
Yeah, how about that, huh?
But one more law is going to fix it all.
Just if you just do that one new common sense gun law, it'll take care of everything, right? Yeah. Did you see that there was a Democrat Michigan representative? His brother was killed and shot by his son here recently. I don't have details on it, but I thought that was interesting. I kind of went through this guy's votes. Imagine that. He's big supporter of just about every kind of gun control you can think. And evidently his family wasn't following the things that he wanted. So I just thought I'd point that out. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, with that, I don't know, Vance, I'm going to kind of turn it over to you. You know Andrew and Tess better than I do. And I think let's go into exactly what happened and how we got here. Maybe that's a good way to put it, huh?
Well, I met Tess, was it 5 years ago now, Tess? I think it was 19. When I started Sportsman's Watch, I reached out to Tess and I read about her. I followed her online and seen all the hate she was getting over her South African hunt. And I reached out to her. I thought this girl's all over the planet and she's not going to say anything to a little old nobody sportsman show on internet, and said, hey, would you consider doing an interview? And she wrote right back, and I guess she looked over my page and said, okay, this might be for real. And she said, well, I'm going to be at home. She's from Kentucky, lives in Texas. And I would be willing to do an interview. So Tracy and I drove up there and met with her. And who was with you?
My dad.
Your dad.
And my best friend Stephanie and my dad.
Stephanie, that's right.
I think I was in Texas. I don't think I was there.
You were.
But anyway, we had lunch. Then we went and did the interview and just hit it off. She was not some right-wing nut. Yeah. Probably.
You say it like it's a bad thing.
No, that's a badge of honor. No, I quickly realized she was the real deal for one sportsman. She is very passionate about hunting and conservation. Everything you see her post, she means it. It's not, some put on to get attention. She means it. She's very well educated, and so is Andrew in conservation by hunting. And I have followed her since then, and we've tried to hook up a couple of times on some hunts, but we just can't get our schedules to line up.
We both have busy schedules.
Oh yeah.
Yes. But they are our special guests tonight, and we'd like to talk to them about one. Everybody knows about Tess's hunt, but I'm going to let her tell us about that hunt. One, it looked like it was just take away all the anti-bull that came with the aftermath. What? Tell us about that hunt, because it looked like, because I know, Andrew, you got some animals on that hunt too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because it looked like an amazing hunt.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, it was a blast. So I knew kind of really what I was going for in my mind, what I wanted before I went on the hunt. And it was older. You know, I had all the characteristics that I wanted in a giraffe. I didn't want to just go and just hunt a giraffe. Like, I wanted the positive to come from this hunt, you know, because it's a sensitive subject for a lot of people, especially the ones that don't get it. Hunters, yes, but what really kills me is people that hunt, but they still want to hate because they would choose not to hunt a giraffe. Okay, so they're the problem also. You know, they're just as bad as an anti if they're not going to back you up in the industry as far as being a hunter as well.
Right.
And so before I got back to the US, I had posted it, not thinking, I mean, I was warned, but not thinking that anything of it. Like, I was just a girl over there hunting, and I was doing what I was doing, and for the reasons that I had, and he wasn't producing. He was fighting. He was killing others. The herd hadn't produced in a while, several years. And, you know, it was a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Almost 2 years later, I got a message from the people that I was hunting with, and they let me know that there was finally a baby. And, you know, we had positive results from this hunt that they hadn't had in a long time. He had been on this ranch for an estimated of 18 years, thinking that he's older. That's what I knew for a fact, is that, you know, he was at least 18. And so it was amazing. I had the time of my life, and I don't regret it. I'll never regret it. And I would do it again.
I know we were stepping over bones out there,
Mm-hmm.
Giraffe bones that he had killed. You know, we were stepping over piles of bones out there.
Nothing went to waste. You know, like, we took some of the meat back to the lodge. Others, the skinners and trackers and the outfitter and the landowner, like, we all had some of the meat. I had the mount done, the legs taxidermied. I had pillows, gun cases, a table made. We utilized everything as much as possible. And that's what I like about hunting is, you know, I want to utilize everything that I can. And I'd rather hunt something that I'm able to put in my freezer, just like they do in South Africa.
Andrew, didn't you was that the trip you got a crocodile on?
Yes. Yep. I got the crocodile. Oh goodness. I don't know what all we shot that trip. We shot a Nyala, a wildebeest, crocodile,
Baboons.
Baboon, little vervet monkey. And I don't think people realize how destructive those little things are. I mean,
they're like our pigs.
I was gonna say, I've heard bad things about those.
Yeah, they're nasty.
Yeah.
But everybody's upset about the one that, you know, they make plushies out of.
Yes,
you know,
the cuddly giraffe.
Yeah. Well, and you said it best, is that 18 years old, it was stopping the rest of the herd from moving forward because it was taking out some of the younger males and killing them. I do think that one of the, you look at some of the lies that were spread, the fact that they were saying that it was a rare black giraffe, and it's just a color that it becomes when it gets older, correct?
Right.
Yeah. There's nothing. It's just a giraffe that had gone way past its time, stopped producing, and had become a hindrance. And so, like people have done for, I don't want to say generations, people have done since time immemorial, they have called out the herds and the ones that are causing the problems so that the rest of the herds can survive. And that's exactly what we did. But because it's a cute, well, actually, I've heard that giraffes are not exactly what you might want to call cute and cuddly, but you know, everybody's got that nice Disney thing in their minds that they think this is
nasty critters.
Yeah, they're nasty critters. But
you know what's funny is ever since her hunt, like you'll see people marketing giraffe hunts over in South Africa now, and it's they market the dark giraffe, you know. They're marketing it as a dark giraffe.
Right.
I have had people
using the picture of my giraffe.
Oh yeah.
I have had people contact me
No.
on Racks and Sportsman's Watch after I'll either tag Tess or put up her picture or something with the giraffe and tell me what an endangered species the black giraffe is. Like it's, the black giraffe is the breed of the giraffe. And that just goes to show they're uneducated in what they're talking about.
Black giraffe lives matter, apparently. So
I guess so.
That's typical of the anti.
But, you ask somebody what subspecies of giraffe is that, and they don't know. They can't tell you. There's, I think it's 7 or 9 different subspecies of giraffe, and they can't tell you what it is.
No, that's because they talk. It's about it's all about emotions. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. It's all emotional to them, and they don't care. It fits their narrative and their ideology. However crazy it is, they don't care. They're going to go to every end they can to make you look like the horrible person, and that you just did this horrible thing. No info, no facts. It's all about emotions and how they feel.
And I took a deep dive. I took a deep dive on Reddit and went through your name and oh my God, I was like, I had to take a shower afterwards. It was just the most vitriol. Just horrible things being said by these caring, loving people, and just wishing death and wanting death and all this other stuff. And I'm just like going, you don't know, first off, what you're talking about. You don't have any concept of this whatsoever, or that this has been going on since we were with staffs and bows back when we didn't have any guns and stuff like this. Right. This has been going on forever. So. It's called conservation. So
and I guess people don't, I see the guy saying that giraffe burgers are probably good. The meat was delicious. Mm-hmm. I mean, the meat was delicious. It's like a red meat, but it's got a slight sweet taste to it, and
there's a lot of it.
Yeah, there was plenty.
I'm
of
sure.
It.
Yeah.
Plenty of it.
John Thompson says I love your show. Evidently, he must be friends with you on Facebook.
He loves the guest on there tonight.
What's that?
He loves the guest on there tonight.
Ah, there we go. Good to have you, John. Good to have you.
That's my biggest fan.
All right. So I got to run. I'm just going to run the background stuff tonight. You guys got this.
Andrew, what, growing up in Florida, I have had alligator a lot. What does crocodile taste like?
Tastes like alligator.
Does
I mean, really? So the
that I'm in.
The crocodile over there is like their sworn enemy. I've got some gruesome videos of some crocodile stuff there in South Africa. I'll have to send them to you, but it's their sworn enemy. And when we could tell it had something in its belly, and the skinners and trackers did not want to open it up. I wanted to see what was in it. Right. Hey, let's see. But they had found human remains in them before, so they're not gonna. They didn't want to open it up. So we opened it up. It turns out it was a baby bush buck that it had eaten. So it wasn't terrible. But and then I told them, I said, man, we eat alligator all the time back home. Let's cook some of this. No. I said, we don't even know how to cook it. So we just took the tenderloins out of it, and I cut it up in chunks and, battered it and deep fried it. And they loved it,
Yeah.
I mean, it was good.
We had some last month. Was it last month, Clay?
It was last month now, yeah. Good stuff.
Alligator anyway, not crocodile.
No.
What other game meats did you guys, out of all the animals you harvested over there, what other game meats did you have? Oh, there's the picture of the crocodile.
Yeah,
that's an alligator, isn't it? Or is it?
No, that's a croc.
It's the croc.
Is that a croc?
That's the croc.
We've had the wildebeest, kudu, impala. I'm looking at the house to see what we had.
I think the only thing we didn't eat over there was the warthog.
Yeah, we didn't have time.
But we didn't have time for it. We were leaving the next day.
Okay.
But yeah, we ate everything over there.
Gene
Their
says he has
biltong
a
is
taste
good.
for a good biltong. Is that how you pronounce that, biltong?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, biltong is very well. Very well.
What does kudu taste like? That's my dream hunt. Is kudu. That's my top of the bucket list. Is kudu.
Well, so they know what the hell they're doing with their food. Okay. Like they're
That's
very
true.
good at cooking it. And the outfitter that we cook with, like she is phenomenal in the kitchen. Like just leave her there. She knows what she's doing. She's got this. But like to give it to us, it's going to taste a little bit different because we cook different than they do,
Right.
Yeah, we're from the South.
One thing that I noticed is we are so hell-bent on keeping our meat in the fridge, keeping it cold, whatever. They'll let it lay out all day. It's room temperature, and we're going to eat it that night.
Yep,
And it's fine, but we worry
There's your
about
kudu.
stupid stuff sometimes.
Because we've listened to the USDA and the government. for so
Yeah,
long.
and
They know
and which
that.
they've turned their back on us now, huh?
Well, it's no different than here at our place. We're pretty self-sufficient, and I can tell you we don't follow the USDA standards.
No.
Even with eggs, if you don't wash an egg right away, guess what? That can sit on your counter. They don't have to be refrigerated. It's when you take and actually wash off the protective coating on those eggs naturally that you get the problems. It's
between
things like
here in Britain, I mean, it's entirely different with the eggs. I mean, yeah, they still got the thing over there where you don't have any of that, washing off the eggs and this and that. It's all that. And here, everything goes through a factory, cleaned up.
our
so,
stuff
yeah.
don't.
Oh yeah, well, our stuff doesn't. Yeah.
And then
Or your stuff.
we milk. We got 3 milk cows here, and Danelle loves to do that. Make her own cheese, make her own ghee. She makes tons of stuff, and none of that stuff gets pasteurized. And it's funny, that milk, it lasts a long time, especially if it's refrigerated.
Sure.
And we use glass. We don't use plastic. We use glass gallon jugs and half-gallon jugs. We really went back to some of the old ways, and I think we're healthier for it.
Yeah,
100%.
those are the better ways.
So this snake that you've got there, Tess,
Looks like a jump rope.
yeah, where'd you get that? What is that, by the way?
That is a big South Texas diamondback rattlesnake.
There you go.
That was this past
thick it is.
weekend. The friend of ours.
Oh, was
killed
it? Well, I'll tell you what, it must be hot down there. I'm looking at your hair right there. It's just a little bit different, but
Yeah, it was very humid and very hot.
she was wild and untamed that day. There you go. Yeah,
A hot mess
That is-
express.
yeah,
I know that snake without the head on it. I'm 5'9", and it came up to a little above my chin. It was it was a big snake.
Big snake, huh?
Big
Well,
snake.
Eric Newman's watching tonight. He loves messing around with snakes, so hopefully he's watching that.
We were trying to get him some in the swamps, and we
We
had
were.
Roland freaking out because he don't like me jumping in the swamps. It scares him to death.
No,
Oh yeah.
don't blame
Yeah,
me.
y'all got the python issue down there, huh?
We do.
Yeah.
I say we. I'm in Georgia now, but I'm from Florida. But the pythons, and they found anacondas out there now too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Oh, great.
They've got bounties on them, so you can hunt them, turn them in, and get paid for them.
I'm sure.
Wow.
There we go.
And is that just coming from people that
Dumping.
have these as pets and they turn them loose?
Yeah.
Yep. Now in '92, when Andrew hit, I was still living in Miami. I was a youngster, and the Miami-Dade Metro Zoo got hit real bad. So monkeys and snakes and all kinds of critters got out, and that's not far from the Everglades, and they get out in the Everglades.
Yeah.
So some of that might be residual. I remember I was 20 years old after Andrew hit, and not long after that, me and a bunch of buddies went out to the Everglades. We were always out there doing stuff, and we were camping and got a fire going. It's about 2:00 in the morning. We're cutting, drinking, having a good time, doing what teenage redneck boys do. And we hear this nasty howling coming from the top of the trees. We're like, what in the world? We're all reaching for guns and putting down our booze. Didn't see what was going on. The very next morning, we wake up half staggered, and there's monkeys in the top of the trees that had gotten out from hurricane hitting and tearing up the zoo. And there were monkeys and all kinds of stuff. And I think some of that, they didn't recoup all of them, and some of them probably bred out there.
Yeah.
Probably. Perfect environment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I gotta tell you, we're going to take a quick break here, real quick. Take our first break and say hello to some of our sponsors and everything, and get some more refills on our drinks. There you go with our mugs. What did we call those? We called those last week. It was
Salt mugs.
No, assault mugs. There you go. Yeah, we're
That's
all
what
assault mugs.
See, I watched the show even though I wasn't around last week.
We appreciate that. At least we got one person.
And I want to say quickly, hey, everybody over there on Rumble, I see you there. Of course, we cannot get the chats to come through here yet. And there's some people on the website I'm seeing. So welcome to everybody. Looks like there's a few people on just about everything. So good. Glad to have you with us tonight. All right, let's pay some bills, Mike.
You got it.
Located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Discover the world of firearms at Bismarck's Double H Gun Shop. With a wide range of products from handguns to rifles, we cater to all your shooting needs. We are your local gun experts. Not only do we sell firearms, reloading supplies, targets, and whatever your heart desires, but we also have a ton of knowledge and answers.
We shoot, we hunt, we compete, we reload.
It's been the Howard's way since 1976, and we ain't fixing to change anything. Visit our website at hhgunshop.com to browse our inventory. Double H Gun Shop, Bismarck's best new and used firearm reloading supply, gunsmithing, and sporting goods store. Double H Guns.
Double H Guns.
1021 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota. Call 701-223-4888.
All right. And yeah, again, thanks to all our sponsors. We can't do it without you, and we appreciate you every day. And by the way, everybody, you know they're pro gun, especially Double H. I mean, they sell guns. So stop in there whenever you get a chance and see Doug and the boys down there at LAUER Auto Repair. I can tell you firsthand they do a great job. So thanks.
Did you hear at the end of the show last week, we had a couple people going on there starting to hassle us and stuff like that. And it sounds like it's just a podcast about, advertisement for guns and auto repair. And I was just well, I'm so sorry that we are in a capitalist society where we want to, either pay the bills or, and I guess it'd be all right if the podcast were run by the government, then we wouldn't have to worry about paying the bills, right? So that's what they want. Yeah. But everybody gets a podcast and free education. There you go.
You bet.
On us.
On us.
No, you got to go across the border and come back over illegal.
Oh, that's
and
right.
You'll get
That's
everything.
right. That's right.
That's a whole other subject we're probably going to hit here a little bit.
Yeah,
So.
we'll probably hit a few of those.
Just want to say hi to a few folks. Hey, DJ, he's joining us from down there. He just chimed in. Of course, we got Gene and Eric. One shop, he says, I didn't hear what you took that awesome giraffe with. He wants to know what you took it with.
Yeah, so I took over a Tika Light 30-06, one shot to the neck.
The old 30-06. Huh?
It's a
My
great
favorite.
Awesome.
I love a 30-06.
Now, I've always thought that Tikas were a little heavy of a gun. I mean, but you don't think that, I mean.
This was a T3 light.
Yeah.
It used to be my favorite gun until she had a friend that did a Cerakote job on it for her of giraffe print, and it's no longer my gun.
Now it's not yours, is it?
Well, you got to feel pretty good about that, though, Andrew, because most guys are getting their sweatshirts or whatever stolen by their wives, but you get the gun stolen, and I really don't mind that. That's a good thing. I mean,
it just gave me an excuse to go buy another one.
There you go.
I was gonna say that's all you got to do is you have to replace it now.
Oh well, I guess I have to go get another one.
That's exactly right.
Gene says 30-06 is king, bar none.
Yep.
I'm probably in the minority on that. I'm not a big fan of 30-06. There's a lot of other caliber. It's a good round, don't get me wrong. And it was very popular after World War II because all them guys shot 30-06 Springfields, a lot of them on Enfield action. So they came home, they were familiar with it. There's tons of surplus of them, but it's not my favorite round. It really isn't.
But I'm a fan of the newer modern cartridges that are coming out. I mean, I love all the new stuff that's coming out. I mean, there's just so much.
Well, I like a flat shooting gun.
Yep.
And let's face it, the Odd 6 is not a flat shooting gun, but it does have the knockdown power.
Yep.
Hey, Matt Simon, good to have you. He says, hoorah on the 30-06. There's a lot. I tell you, I'm in the minority test. I can tell you there's 30-06.
Okay.
Actually, as you can see, I want one of everything.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's just a sample.
And you can have 2 of them of everything.
I do some of them. I got 2 boys, so I got to have double.
Exactly.
There you go. There you go.
And we kind of have a deal with each other where we try not to have multiple calibers of the guns. So we try to, if it's, if we already know we have this one caliber of a gun and it's time to go buy another gun, we go for a different caliber. It's just a little thing we've got.
No, hey, you don't need an excuse to have another gun. Just go do it and exercise your freedom. It doesn't get better than that, does it? Yeah, absolutely.
Which we do have a few. I've got an old M1 Garand in 30-06, an old Springfield M1 Garand. Yeah, exactly. I hardly ever shoot it, but it's so nice.
Right there.
There you go, right there.
So we've got Boyd's gun stock here in Mitchell, right outside.
And we all
Mitchell.
know this.
Oh,
I won't do it on this table, but yeah.
And I was going through a tour because my friend of mine is the owner of Boyd's Gunstock, Dustin, and his wife, Amanda. And he had bought up from one of the gun manufacturers the old lathes and everything for the what you just had. I just forgot the M1.
M1.
So that he can recreate everything from the original equipment and everything with the stocks and whatnot. So it's like, that's awesome. Because I mean, if you get a hold, I always said it was great because if you get a hold of an M1 that has like a kind of a beat up, the receiver and everything's good, but the stock's beat up. I mean, heck, Boyd's Gunstock make you one themselves, and that'd be pretty sweet. So
absolutely,
anyway,
I think we need them as a sponsor, Mike. You need to get in there.
He bought a ranch down in Texas. I don't know what part, as a matter of fact. So he's got a game preserve down there. So half the time of the year he's down there. He's doing what we want to do, just hunt all day and do it for a job.
We'll just go visit him.
There you go. There you go.
My son is trying to move to Texas right now.
I don't blame him.
So we got Gene chiming. He says, I would venture to guess that the 303 Brit is popular in SA. And I bet it is.
The 303 British is and the 7x57 Mauser.
Really?
Huh?
Okay.
A Mauser, any Mauser rifle is very popular over there.
Well, that would make sense over there. Weren't they occupied for years by the British?
Yes.
I mean, that would actually make sense. So, yeah.
The British.
That's South Africa, everybody, if you're not familiar with what we're talking about.
The Dutch were to the north, I think, right? So, yeah. Anyway, yeah.
I
Hey,
know a lot with a Mauser.
No.
So I got a thing, if I can get my phone to work here real quick. We were going to run through a real quick run of what we call the Second Amendment bullet points. And we'll lay out some questions for you. And then, of course, you can go back and forth from both of you to answer them real quick. So let me hit this thing real quick. So. I like making stuff. Anyway.
How'd you get my picture, man?
I'm down. All right. So whoever wants to take it first, how do you describe a well-regulated militia? Because that's a big word nowadays. I mean, everybody wants to put it in their own terms.
Sorry.
Oh, going for Andrew.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, it didn't come off.
He's our
now,
good guy.
Sorry. Answer that again, or ask that again.
How do you describe a well-regulated militia?
I know a lot of people would say that it is a militia should be considered an actual, I guess, basically a standing army.
Right.
But I mean, in my opinion, I think each individual has their own, has the right to have the gun. And then if need be, all those individuals are going to come together and, there's your militia. I mean, to me, it doesn't have to be a fringe group that, lives out in the woods and trains all the time and stuff like that. I think it's just American citizens, basically.
Right. Yeah. Well, they want to try to change that a little bit, don't they? Yeah. So we, the armed people, there we go. So that's what it should be in there. All right. I'll go for the second one, and we'll see on this. Besides your home, of course, where do you feel the most safe in this world? And I know with all the stuff we have to deal with all the Twitter trolls and all those people that are just nasty and vile out there that want to drop all that stuff all the time. Where do you feel most safe when you're traveling?
We take a gun everywhere.
And see, that's a good answer. I like that. See,
I mean, really, we travel with guns. Like if I fly, sometimes I take a pistol, even if I'm not hunting, like I've still got a gun.
There you go.
So here in town or wherever, road trips, vacations, like we pack everywhere.
There you go. So I'd say that's fine. That's a great answer because
I don't. A lot of people find this funny when I tell them I don't take guns to South Dakota when I hunt. When I go to Clay's house, I go to Waylon's house. Right. I'll get a pistol, I'll get a rifle, and I'll get all packed up, and I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
I go to Florida. I go to Chris's. Chris will hook me up. Got this, got that.
I'm trying to remember what last time you came out. I think you just grabbed my 270, didn't you? Something like that.
I did. Yeah, and you brought me a 270 and a shotgun to the house I was at the
I was wondering if you guys that do make it up here, Tess and Andrew, we we got a place for you to stay. We have a cabin on the lake, or if you need to, we got one just here in town, just to the south of me. So we got you covered.
So fun.
I like your answer on that, Tess. That was pretty good. All right, and this social media.
Hey, wait up, Mike. Wait up,
what's
Mike. We had a guy chime in. DJ, he put in here. He says the ability of us as citizens of the U.S. are able to stand up and defend our rights. And I'm going to add to that. We are the militia. In the Revolutionary War, it was the militia that held the line. I mean, even when the British were fighting us, that was one of the complaints, is that the militia, they were unpredictable. They were coming at the Brits. They didn't know what to do with these savages because they didn't stand in lines and shoot at each other. They did guerrilla warfare.
We shoot, then you shoot, and then we take time for tea.
So this idea that you have to be part of a military operation or part of a guard is a bunch of bunk. We are the militia, and we are the biggest standing militia on earth, probably.
Absolutely. Yeah. You look at, just say, I know a lot of people here in Texas, we hunt all year long, but there are other places have seasons, we have seasons on certain animals. We do. But we hunt.
We have exotic.
We have something that we can hunt every day of the year. And so when, say, deer season opens up, you look across the country and there's more armed people running around the woods than anywhere in the world, and that is the militia.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, Dan Brown chimes in. He says, well-regulated militia means a group of well-trained and equipped citizens. Yeah, and that's probably a very good explanation, too. And I would say most of us are, especially any of us that have concealed carry permits, been hunting, took our hunter safety courses. I mean, I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm very trained anymore. There's a lot of things I don't know, and I keep learning, which is great.
Yes.
But I definitely can, any gun I do own, I know how to operate it and operate it proficiently, I guess is a good way to put it.
Well, and we've talked about it many times. It's like the act of carrying a pistol on you or whatever doesn't mean that you're going to go off and shoot somebody at any moment. That's the last thing you want to do. But also the last thing you want to happen is you to be stuck in a situation where your life is threatened to be ended, or your loved ones. And what are you doing? You're standing on your principles of guns are not for me, and that's just ridiculous. I mean, we see this all the time. They always want to vilify men and women out there who work at different places and gas stations and this and that, and end up shooting a person trying to rob them and probably take their life as well. And they always want to vilify that person. Well, I don't want to die. I mean, that's exactly what it comes down to. I don't want to die. I want to be here for my kids. I want to be here for my wife. I want to be here for my family, and be here for my country. And the last thing I want to do is go down because some politician somewhere decided that he doesn't trust me. I don't know. Maybe that's just
exactly me. Like, really, how many gun-free zones are actually gun-free?
Right. Well,
You know-
they don't call them gun free now. What is it, Clay? They call them
Safety zones.
safety
Use
zones.
that.
Yeah,
Safety,
they're safe.
safety zones.
Yeah.
So,
Or
yeah.
sensitive areas or
Sensitive areas.
zones.
That's the one. Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
That's just ridiculous.
And I call them soft targets, easy access.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, that's what you are. You're a sitting duck in a gun-free zone or a safety zone or whatever they want to call it.
Mhm.
Let's just face it. If you are disarmed, you are a vulnerable target and you're a soft target. You're the easiest person out there or group to attack because they know no one's going to fight back.
Exactly.
Unless there's somebody there that doesn't follow the rules or law and takes his matter in his own.
And we've talked about Colorado last week. We talked about them out trying to take guns out of churches and different things like that. California's been doing that forever. And it all boils down to, it's like, they know that if no one there has a gun or no one there is there to protect themselves and there's no security, then they can just walk right in and do whatever they want to us. Well, that's where I don't agree with it. And, and if my pastor or whatever had a problem with it, well, you know what? He ain't the only game in town. So that's
Right.
I like what Matt Simon says. He says, if I'm there, it's not a gun-free zone.
There you go.
Right.
Bingo.
I know what I'm saying.
Same here. Same
Exactly.
That should be
Here's
our next
something-
T-shirt.
Here's something I saw online the other day, which I thought was absolutely dead on. And this is something a lot of veterans chimed in on, including my son. But I just asked my son, hey, jump on here. He's getting a tattoo at the moment.
Oh, nice.
It says, I was once willing to give my life for what I believed this country stood for. Today, I would give my life to protect my family from what this country has become.
No,
Yeah.
100%.
That's
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Yes.
sad too.
It is. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we grew up, I believe, in a different world, and our parents grew up in a different world, and it keeps changing on us nonstop. And I understand progression. I mean, the world becomes a different place. We have new technology, we have this and that, but there's certain values, there's certain standards that should remain the same, and that you should be able to walk down your streets in your neighborhoods. You should be able to walk, somewhere in your town and not fear somebody taking your life. You guys down in Texas, you're not far from the border, and constantly, like you're talking about going across your game cams and whatnot, people crossing all the time. Of course, they say, as we talked earlier, is it's not happening, but we know that it is. So, yeah.
Yeah. I would invite anybody that says it's not happening to come down here and see it.
Yeah,
Personally.
it wasn't too long ago. I had a lady on, Eric Valdez. She's actually on Arizona or New Mexico. I think it was Arizona border. Their ranch goes right up to it. And she shared a ton of pictures and video and things that are happening. I'm part of our North Dakota Farm Bureau as well. So we had her up here as a guest to speak of it. And I mean, I'm telling you, and you guys know better than anybody, this is happening.
Oh,
They want to believe it or not. There is no border right now. We do not have a border.
No, it's an open door.
Eric says, what is this gun-free zone you speak of? I want to go there for a free gun. I
go.
don't like that.
Eric is our taxidermist.
He is.
Yeah.
He does a great
Member
job.
of our Rex Adventure team.
And I just got my deer mount back that he actually did that as a mount for his taxidermy shows. So, yeah, that turned out.
Oh,
nice.
look at
Wow,
that.
it's a big muley.
That's the one that came off my place, wasn't it?
Yep, that's the one I got last time I was there. Eric did that. He just brought me that at the hog hunt.
And Tess, I think that's a small one.
That is a small one.
She said that's a big mule. I said, I think that's a small
That's
one.
Well, Texas don't have the big old monsters like they have.
No.
Well, I will say the plains in Texas, up in the Panhandle area, has some monster
Has
muleys.
the bigger ones.
Where we're at down here in the Trans-Pecos area, they're not very big.
Yeah.
I've shot a couple muleys. Neither one of them considered big, average at best.
Yeah.
That last one I shot, I'm gonna be honest, I got buck fever because I had not shot a buck since I left South Dakota. I just shot all does down here, and I get up there to hunt, and man, I was hunting. I was actually shooting birds.
You were chasing
Waylon-
grouse.
Waylon dropped me off at that grove on the North 40, and I walked out to shoot birds, and he comes back down and says, hey, man, I found some bucks, and jump in, and I go out to them, and we get up on them. I get out. I get a good position. I drop down. and I shot the first buck I saw in my scope. I look up at Waylon. He said, "You shot the wrong one." There was a monster standing next to it.
It's always that way. It's always that way.
Hey, you shot my little one. When you brought that, I was like, "Oh, I know what buck that was." Yeah, remember, I live here. I see him every day. I can tell you everything that's on this place.
Yeah.
One shop says, he goes, "We stormed the beaches in Normandy for this crap nowadays." You're right. It's kind of sad to see what's happening. It truly is. And we all know why. We all know why it's happening.
Yeah.
But he's going to be gone.
What's that? Hopefully, yes. November, hopefully. It's
You know, I heard Vance voted for him twice.
Well,
Well,
I still have a pulse. This boy didn't vote.
that's true.
Uh,
So continue on some questions here real quick. Of course, we were talking about social
Hold
media.
on.
Oh,
Do
go
we
ahead.
want to talk about who voted Democrat on this panel?
That's
Do we want to do that?
Mike's
What, my
wife.
wife? My
No,
wife?
no. She's not on this panel. Somebody in this panel right here has voted Democrat.
Oh,
Yes,
no.
yes, he has. 33 years ago.
What? Oh, okay. I was like looking at myself. I'm
And
like,
I
what?
didn't make that mistake twice either. You gotta remember, I come from a family of Democrats. They were all Democrats. They had to be brainwashed, and I voted for that son of a bitch, Bill Clinton.
oh,
But I did not vote for him again, or have I since voted Democrat.
As,
yeah, you're
as
changing.
far
there
right
you go.
and
Change the tradition.
conservative and constitutional as Clay is, his very first vote was Democrat.
You know, honestly, almost the way I look at it is it's two wings up the same bird at this point.
That's right.
Boy,
I
it
mean,
sure seems like it, don't it?
And you know, Bill Clinton, when you really think about his presidency, Bill Clinton was a Democrat. He was not the liberal left far
Right.
progression.
He wasn't
that
a
his
communist.
wife was in Obama and all the ones that followed him. He was just a Democrat.
Yep.
Right.
He was, like you said, he was a Democrat, and you could actually, it was Democrats and Republicans, and Democrat Party is the new Communist Party. I don't care.
Oh, for
People
sure.
can call me what they want, but that's what they are. That's the road they're on, and they're going to take it farther if they can. We're seeing it right now. So
Yeah.
I at that time, I didn't vote that year because I was in a
well, you were in a different facility.
let's say a facility that wouldn't let you vote at the time.
You should have
No
just
days
jumped.
off.
Hey, you should have just jumped the wall and come back. You'd have been fine.
I'm trying to remember what years those were or what that was
92.
because there's a
1992.
Yep, 91 or 92.
Yeah, I think I was
Well,
back then because I was 89 to 91. I was traveling the world. So that's right. So,
Lynette says, "Me too, Clay, and I fell for the hope and change and actually voted." Really, I did not vote for Obama the first time. Never again. I've grown up with.
Oh, Lynette, I can't believe you admitted that on the
no
World
kidding.
Wide Web.
You know, all I did was look at Obama's record from when he was in the state Illinois
right.
legislature, and then, of course, as a worthless communist in the Senate in our U.S. Congress, I knew I wasn't going to vote for that guy. I could have cared less what color he was.
Yeah.
I just knew he was a commie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. What's Cliff say? He says, pretty sure they vote in those places now. Just say they don't. Well, could be. Probably.
They vote in jails and graveyards now.
no,
Graveyards are 100% vote, right? Democrat, right? That's what I keep saying. If I die, please don't let me vote Democrat in November, okay?
no.
We got you.
And
Oh, well,
all
that
your
says-
gun and all your guns were lost in a boating accident. So yeah, that
Absolutely,
too.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Then
Even
I
my
met
felony
Dougie.
guns. Yeah. She met Doug. So if you guys don't know, Lynette is the wife of Doug, and he's one of our sponsors. He's LAUER Auto Repair, so we appreciate him
awesome.
being on tonight. So, all right. Well, do you have any more bullet points on this, Mike? know
I
we
do
kinda
have a
got off
couple.
track.
I got a good one. I'll skip over a couple and go to the.
I gotta
one
say
above.
something though. Hey guys, quit sending me texts and thanks for listening.
Yeah, my phone's lighting up and I haven't even looked at it yet.
Now we talked about, of course, going and traveling and stuff. What rifle or pistol is your number one go-to protection carry?
Protection carry?
The one you're more comfortable with than anything else.
I like my 9 and 45.
Man, That's a hard call.
1911.
I was going to say my 1911, but what I don't like about the 1911 is how you have to carry it to be ready to go, cocked and locked. But I mean, I'm pretty good with all of them. I guess the one I've been carrying lately is a Hellcat, a Springfield Hellcat.
Oh, right,
nice gun.
It's nice. It fits under the waistband real good, and
it's light. It's
99.9% of the time nobody ever even knows I have a.
It doesn't print.
Yeah, it doesn't make a print on there.
Gene says it's a 1911 and a 38 Super. So there you go. Gene is our gun guy, guys, and I'm telling you, we're going to get him on here. We keep saying that we are going to have him on because he's probably forgotten more than I've ever known about. So.
Gene and Waylon Little Eagle, those guys, those two together are probably an encyclopedia.
And Waylon's listening tonight. He hasn't been on for a while, so we're going to have Waylon on tonight. So as long as you went there, Mike, what's your favorite one, Vance and Mike, that you carry?
Vance, go ahead.
XD 9mm is a regular, and I also have an XD 45. So I like the Smith Wesson XDs.
I for the longest time carried the what is it, the 357 Bodyguard for the longest time because I liked it because I like wheel guns. The gun that I sold, which is stupid, that I never should sell a gun ever again, is my Vaquero 45. Love that, and it's a little harder to carry concealed, but yeah, I like my Bodyguard. My Bodyguard was probably one of my favorites.
Yep.
So.
I remember when you had that Vaquero when you were doing the cowboy shooting action. That was a lot of fun too,
good.
By the way.
I was good at that too. So.
That's fun.
Well, I'm sure you both know. Which one do I carry most of the time, guys, anymore?
1911 is what I always see you with.
Well, I do carry that, and I love my 1911.
You like a revolver.
I carry a North American Arms. You're going to love this. 22 mag most of the time.
Yeah.
They're this big. They fit in my Gerber pouch. Nobody even questions it. Now, granted, I usually got something else probably around my leg just in case, but most encounters for self-protection are close. And that 22 mag will do the trick. It'll take care of it. It won't necessarily kill the person, and but it will definitely take out the threat as needed. So, and I do love. Someone just said it. I say my 10mm. I love my 10mm. I carry that quite often too.
You've always had that in the console when I was in your truck. That 1911 was always there.
Oh, and it still is. I mean, it goes everywhere with me. I mean, if you ever get into my pickup. If I ever got pulled over and they searched it, they'd probably think I'm ready to start a war somewhere. I'm like, hey, that's my normal carry guns. What are you talking about?
Yes, Andrew, quick fun story. When I lived in South Dakota, they knew I was from Florida. Mm-hmm. And my buddies up there said, hey, can you get us on a hog hunt? And I've killed so many of them stinking hogs growing up out in the Everglades. I thought, why do you want to go kill a hog? Stinking critters. And they were like, well, we've never killed them. They don't have them down here. So we planned a trip. We called it our mancation.
Nice.
4 of us jumped in a pickup truck and drove cross country. Well, my house from where the towns were was the last stop. So they all picked me up last. When they got to my house, a Ford F-250 was completely full in the bed. They had like a bag or two of clothes, completely full to the top. No exaggeration.
That's not exaggeration either.
Of guns. I'm like, guys, I'd like to take 1 or 2. I had like 12 or 13 of them picked out that I was going to take.
We actually left guns at Vance's house.
Left guns at my house so that I could take the ones that I wanted. And when we got down there, we just met this guy, Chris, who's now just one of our best friends. We got down there and he was like, what war did you guys come down here to fight?
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that because
I even had the 50 BMG with. Remember that? I had the Barrett 82. Yeah.
Listen, we go on a predator hunt, or something like that, and this one here gets on to me. She's like, "How many guns are you taking?" Because I've got I've got my day gun, then I've got my backup day gun, then I've got my thermal gun, I've got my backup thermal gun, then I've got my red light gun.
Got to be prepared.
A couple of pistols, and of course everything has suppressors with it. And she's just like, "What are you doing?" And see, I'm not the only one.
No.
See, I think when we got to Florida, we had nearly 50 guns.
It was something like that. We had that entire box full of guns.
We had Lapua 338, 50 caliber, and everything. I mean, we had.
Well, you just never know, Vance, what you're gonna run into.
Hey, I don't even have my Lapua back here tonight.
Had we got pulled over, they probably would have just slapped the cuffs on us and said, "We'll figure this out later."
And I'll tell her, listen, you need to pack light. We're going for 2 days. You need to pack light. We can pack it all in one bag. And then, I've got the whole back seat full of guns and lights and thermals. And she's like, oh, so where do I put my stuff?
That's Uber.
Well, it's just like that same trip, Vance. Remember, we were all carrying. And we're all sitting there kind of joking about, can you imagine if someone tried to jack us? That would be a bad day for them.
Bad mistakes.
A bad day. That'd be a happy ending.
Ultimate happy ending, right?
That'd be one of our happy ending stories that we usually do.
That was a fun trip. That was.
So I got to throw this one out here. Doug Thompson says, "Yeah, like our trip to Whittington Center for our NRA trip. That's right. When we went there, we took a load of guns and had a lot of fun. And same thing. We walked actually into the Flying J in Rapid City, and I don't, it was, if I remember right, it was like the Badlands Circuit Finals or the." Might have been stock show. I don't even remember what was going on. But this cowboy, I'm pretty sure he was drunk. Young guy comes running into the bathroom, and he was kind of crazy. And we're all got our guns on. Can't see him, but we're all kind of sitting around. If that guy would have actually done something, because that cashier looked a little bit nervous there. And he says, "Man, I'm sure glad that guy didn't do nothing." And we're like, "Don't worry, we had this covered."
We had this.
No doubt.
We'll take a quick break here and pay some bills.
Why don't you do a double one? Just because I need a break myself. So,
all right, Clay's got to get up and stretch.
Yeah, that must.
Repair located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Discover the world of firearms at Bismarck's Double H Gun Shop. With a wide range of products from handguns to rifles, we cater to all your shooting needs. We are your local gun experts. Not only do we sell firearms, reloading supplies, targets, and whatever your heart desires, but we also have a ton of knowledge and answers.
We shoot, we hunt, we compete, we reload.
It's been the Howard's way since 1976, and we ain't fixing to change anything. Visit our website at hhgunshop.com to browse our inventory. Double H Gun Shop, Bismarck's best new and used firearm reloading supply, gunsmithing, and sporting goods store. Double H Guns.
Double H Guns.
1021 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota. Call 701-223-4888.
Hey, look at there. I write the bullet points. So I made it back with seconds to spare. I was doing.
You were pretty good right there. I like that. I didn't know you were so quick in your older age.
Hey, don't be saying I'm quick.
We'll hit a couple more of the bullet points we got here real quick. Liberals, let's go ahead and answer this one. Liberals claim that more laws are needed to protect the public. What's your opinion on that?
They don't enforce the laws on the books now.
Exactly what we talked about earlier.
We talked about that last week.
Yeah, I don't understand how more laws that they're not going to enforce are going to do any good.
Well, it's kind of like the federal judge that changed the thing today where illegals can have guns now in the United States.
They're going to anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't even hear about that. Yeah, I haven't even watched any news today. Did that really happen?
Yeah.
It really happened. What it is it's an Illinois judge, of course, an Obama appointee, basically saying that under the Bruin case, they even referenced Bruin. No, that is not what Bruin was about. And let's remember, illegals are not afforded our rights under the Constitution. They have no rights under our U.S. Constitution. That's only for citizens only. But that didn't matter. That's how the ruling came down. So I imagine it's going to be appealed and work its way through the court. You know how many there are so many cases, guys, right now that are rolling up through the appellates, up through the state courts. I mean, you name it, that are heading to the Supreme Court or being dropped. There has been several dropped because of Bruin, because they know they're no non-starter now. But Bruin was huge. But to use it and apply it this way, and I know what this is, it's a big old snub by a liberal judge to say, see, you want to use Bruin? Okay, I'll apply Bruin and I'll apply it to this. Well, she forgets that that isn't a United States citizen, and then they have this many rights in the United States.
Well, I'm sure that's going to get appealed.
It'll be overturned.
Yeah, overturned.
Yeah, but in the meantime, that's the problem we've got. It's
Exactly.
In the meantime.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I wanted to ask is that, and you both have experienced it, and especially, of course, Tess, but social media. Now, is social media worth the aggravation in our everyday lives? Because we do use
Is it worth it?
I don't know.
No, it's not that it's worth it or not worth it. It is. So to me, teaching the younger generation that's paying attention, you know, that's strong enough to handle it, and there's some that's not strong enough to handle any bullying, like it's not for them. But to show others that backing down and giving up as an option is not okay.
Right.
You know, just
go ahead.
Just stay in your, I think we all need to stand our ground some. I'm not going to stop posting on social media just because there's antis and there's, hunters that hate, there's antis that hate, there's Hollywood in the way.
Tess, one of the celebrities mentioned her from, Ricky Gervais mention you in his comedy skit?
No,
Bill Maher on HBO.
Bill Maher.
Oh, Bill Maher.
Oh, I thought you said a comedian. I'm sorry.
We had renters in our house in Kentucky, and she put out our address to our Kentucky house on her Twitter or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And we had renters in there at the time.
Yes,
so we had to explain to them, hey, this may happen. Now he was ex-military. He wasn't worried about anything, but
right.
Yeah, that was Deborah Messing, right?
Yeah, from Will and Grace. Yeah. So Deborah Messing, Bill Maher, Ricky Gervais.
There's been a bunch of them.
Yeah, there's been a couple. There's been a few, but they're irrelevant to any of it.
And I didn't think
it's just like I created content for them.
I think Tess, the CBS interview, I didn't think. It's been a couple years since I've watched it. I didn't think that was a bad interview.
No.
It wasn't the best, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't the best.
They didn't seem to go out of their way to slander you. Yeah, they were pretty neutral about it. It didn't seem like they went out of their way to slander you.
They were actually pretty good. Now Tess got the guy there at the end.
I got the lady.
It was the lady, whoever it was. Yeah, that's right, because the guy was on the camera.
It was Gail.
So, no, I mean at DSC, whenever he started asking you about
the CBS documentary.
Yeah. She kind of turned the tables on that guy doing the interview at the end, and they started filming again real quick,
Well, I started questioning him, like, why are you hounding me over what I do? Whenever you get done here, you're going to go eat a steak.
Yeah,
that's right.
He actually said, you know what? You're absolutely right.
He said, you got me, and my family is mad because I came to interview you.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Mad.
But your question about is it worth it, man? I don't even know. I enjoy scrolling through different things and stuff, but man, sometimes I think you can just get lost in it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do. I think that's the problem we have. I actually think this was a liberal politician that wanted to do this, but I wondered about the validity of it. They wanted to make it so that in order to have an online personality, an account or whatever on social medias, you actually had to have it attached to like your license or whatever, so that you couldn't hide anymore behind the keyboard. And it made me think a little bit, because I'm kind of in the US, I was kind of wondering, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Yeah,
it's hard to say there. It's like I'm a fan of not being able to hide, but I'm also not a fan of more government control.
No, we're not the book anyway.
So I'm torn on that one really bad, because I would love to figure out a way to have people where they can't hide from you, right. But man, for the government to be the ones that,
it's not a place for them.
No,
it's not their job. It's not in the Constitution, so it shouldn't be.
Well, that goes right into
not at least the feds.
That whole TikTok ban coming up, and when we've talked about that, it's like no matter what they're saying about China or this or that, it's still not the government's job to go into a private company or whatever and decide that we, the people, don't. And I just look at it.
I'm not a fan of bans. I'm just not a fan of.
Yeah.
I mean, my honest opinion is, if a guy wants to shoot heroin while he's, drinking moonshine, driving his tank, go for it. I don't care. I don't care.
Yep.
But just don't tell me what I can and can't do.
Isn't that what you were in jail for, Vince?
All three.
All three.
You looked me up too, didn't you?
I'm with you though. I don't. We talked about this kind of before we got going tonight, and I do not believe in what they're doing with TikTok. I don't like TikTok. I don't like Chinese anything. But again, it's a private company that has established itself here in the United States. But it's not the government's job to break them up or shut them down. And it doesn't matter if they do it anyway. They'll just sell to somebody else. Trust me, they will still have control.
Well, I don't know why the government wants to break them up and shut them down, but it's okay for China to come and buy up our property. They're allowing all that.
Mm-hmm. Well, so let's look at Mexico. Did you know you can't own property in Mexico unless you are a Mexican national? You had to be born there. So when you see Ford or Chevy or any company that goes down to Mexico has to have somebody that they bring on board into their company so that they can own the land, so that they can own the building, because the corporation in the United States can't do it. If you aren't a Mexican native-born person there, you cannot own land in Mexico. What a great idea.
You're right.
It's crazy. I mean, look at the immigration rules in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
They're very strict on that stuff, and it's we have a buddy that actually has a wing shooting lodge. It's actually the only free range quail lodge in the world. It's down in Mexico, and he does hunts down there. He lives in Mexico, for 6 months at a time or whatever. And awesome. he says it's very different down there. You have to watch your P's and Q's.
Yeah.
Just owning a gun down there is tough work.
Yeah. Well, we've talked a little bit about, not a lot. Of course, I traveled the other way down through Mexico. It's like 30 years ago, but and then down into the hellscape that is Guatemala, and of course then got picked up there and held hostage on trumped up charges until they got a hold of somebody that could pay my fine. The problem was I didn't have anybody, so I was screwed basically. So it's just you deal with all those people and this and that, and it just gets I can go on to that forever. It's a different world outside our borders, and there's a reason why it should be outside our borders. We should keep it outside. But I'm trying to figure out if I had any more for you in here with these the questions. Liberals claim that more laws are needed to protect the public. What do you think?
I think I answered that just a while ago. I'm not about, I say let people do their thing.
They say the conservatives are all about, or sliding over to big government. And like you said, two wings on the same bird nowadays.
Yeah.
But yeah, they really, big government on both sides is what's coming. It's taking over and regulating everything on everybody, and it just gets baffling. I know. Anyway, I can go on with that. I'll let you guys talk real quick. So
I want to get into with Tess and Andrew. Being you live in Texas, I'd like to get into more of the border issue. How bad do you think it is being Texas residents? We see all this stuff on the news, and the Democrats say there's not a crisis at the border. It's all made up and all that kind of stuff. Is there a crisis down there?
So how bad do I think it is, or how bad do I know it is?
How bad do you know? That's what I want to know. What you know as a resident of Texas and having land near the border and stuff, what do you see?
Well, I'll just give an example on our.
It's not that we're against people coming over here.
No.
Legally, yes, and it takes bodies to run the country.
Absolutely.
And grow, and we need that.
In our place that we used to hunt there, that I was telling you about, where we had the illegals on the camera, coming across. It got to the point where, when we first started hunting down there, we had a couple of blinds that were, it's probably a 30-minute drive on a buggy to get from one blind to the other. And we would, I used to take Tess to one, I would go to the other, and, we would hunt it like that. It got to the point where we would not do that. We would not separate down there, as you can't.
Really?
Just you gotta have numbers. It got to the point where you leave your camper unlocked, or you leave you don't lock your blinds up. You leave water bottles in your blind, because if you don't, they'll push it over or they'll break into it regardless. So you might as well just leave something there and let them have it. Leave some canned food, some whatever.
They're getting out of the weather.
Yeah, they'll get it out of the weather, and they won't tear your stuff up that way. If you you lock it up and make it harder for them to get into it or whatever, then they're just gonna tear your stuff up for orneriness, I guess.
When legs and arms are broken, they can't tear stuff up. I'm just saying.
Yeah, trust me. We were actually out hunting there one night. We were doing some coyote calling. And we had the girls with us, and it was myself and a buddy of mine and his wife and Tess. And we're scanning around, and all of a sudden we see this light way over there where you're talking 10,000 acres. Mm-hmm. There shouldn't have been anything over there. We see this little light moving like that. And of course, me and John start thinking, we're like, hey, man, let's go over there and, see what's going on. Then we remembered, we had the girls with us, so we probably better not go do that, because you never know what you're going to run into over there.
Right.
And I'm sure you've probably seen the picture, obviously, of those illegals down at our water trough there. You can tell the one guy who's the coyote, he's armed. Guarantee you he's armed. And he's standing there, he's not out of breath. He's not digging in the water trench for water. He makes this trip every week. He makes a couple of trips a week, I'm sure. And but these other ones, they're not ready for it. We would find families of backpacks. So I was down there. We quit, all the people that were on the lease. We quit going down there by ourselves. If we had to go fill feeders, you either got somebody to go with you or waited until somebody else had time to go down there with you. As I was down there one time, and I was just driving around and I was filling feeders up. It was just a day that I had to go down there and do it. And I get down in this little ditch, and I look over and I saw something. It looked like a gas can to me. It just looked out of place over there. So I stopped the buggy and I walked over there. And sure enough, it was a cut up piece of a gas can with a rope tied on it. So they're carrying it for water. And all of a sudden I hear some deer, I thought, running off, and I thought, oh man, I just jumped up some deer. So I start looking around, walking around, just seeing, the outdoorsman in me just wanted to see what was going on. I get over there and you're in this big ditch like this. So up on the bank there, I look up and there's 10 or 15 backpacks sitting there. And those people had been camping out right there. It was within a couple of 100 yards of the ranch house. An 80-year-old landowner lived there by herself, in that. And now don't get me wrong, she's pretty salty, but she's there by herself, and there's a group of illegals. Who knows what they're doing? Are they coming here just to work for a better life? Probably so, but I don't know that. Who knows? Who knows what they're there for?
Right.
Can't the best anymore.
So this can be, it sounds to me like some of the rural Texas property that you guys are talking about can be much more dangerous than like an inner city ghetto, because you're out in the middle of nowhere. Who can drop you and walk away?
Yeah.
On 26,000 acres, they're not going to find you. So
actually, a buddy of ours has got another place it's actually a little bit closer to the border than we were on that place, and he's got I want to say it's 16,000 acres down there. Actually, the people that live on the ranch that take care of it, they're from Mexico. They're here legally, and they work on the ranch for them guys. And they confronted some illegals coming across and actually had a shootout with them. Got shot out. The coyotes started shooting at them, taking off. And when they do that, let's say they've got a family or they've got a bunch of little kids and stuff, and when you confront them and they start to shoot or you start shooting back, they're going to leave, and they're going to leave those kids or whoever it is right there where they're at. They don't care about those. They don't care about that. They're just trying to get in there and get their payoff for delivering them.
And that's the biggest issue here with the border, guys, is we know why they're coming, but I kind of got a different take on this. I want to see illegal and legal immigration shut down. I want it all shut down right now. We don't need any more people. It's a farce. They can't find people to work. Quit giving them welfare. They'll work. They're going to have to work. And we've created that situation. And this is an invasion. I've been looking at the comments. Doug Thompson says it's an invasion, and he's talking about Governor Noem. She says it's the first governor to call it that, and she did. She called it exactly that.
I like her.
Gene Cox, he kind of jumps in here and he says it's an election year, so this administration, now they're concerned with the border. As we saw, now he's trying to mention it and mumble and kind of work through a sentence because he can't talk.
Exactly.
The illegals here, this is 701. This is JD. He's was a co-host here, and he's still part of Guns and 701. The illegals are here for their free crap to vote Democrat and turn America into North Mexico.
Absolutely.
I think they're here for a lot of different reasons. They're here to invade us. They're here to raise havoc with the United States, destroy our way of life. They hate us because of who we are. They do not come here for a better life, most of them right now. I mean, I gotta pull this guy up here. His name, this is Ben, I forget his last name. He's got Law and Border on Real America's Voice, but I want you guys to kind of listen to this. This is just a typical day down on the border, and he covers this relentlessly, guys. So let's put him up here.
So far today, this is right at that point where I actually caught that group climbing over the wall last time. Told them to go back. They didn't care because there's nobody here to stop them. Called it in, and Border Patrol said they had nobody to come get them. As I was filming them, watching them climb the wall. Driving back the other way, realized I missed two more ladders. So this is number 6 and number 7.
If only our government prioritized stopping the invasion, but sadly, they're the ones who are inviting it. And now it's up to the American citizens to do our part to stop it.
Support companies that support the values you believe in, like securing America. PatriotMobile.com, promo code RAV. Looks like Sundays are very busy.
Look at this, guys. Look at all them people out there.
Just on about a 3-mile stretch. Another guy sitting under the tree. Oh, there they are. There's the group.
Hey, go ahead. We can comment on
that,
it if you want.
That guy's got dope. That definitely looks like a dope pack on his back. Got all
Guys,
of
you
them.
know-
Man, there's a bunch in there. So we got
You look at when they flew that drone
2
over,
or 3
they
heading
just
off to
started
the other
coming out of
side.
there.
Now we got these guys heading back out. One of them clearly had a dope load. We got a couple guys hanging out under the trees.
Wow.
All they're gonna do is walk out through the desert, find another of the 1,000 spots to cross, and later today they will undoubtedly be crossing. And this is how you always see it. You'll have guys that just want to come over and know that they'll get deported if they get caught, and then you have the other guys running the drugs with them.
They all look too tall.
The guys that are just crossing over are basically the sacrificial lambs for the guys running the drugs.
Yeah, and that's just a little taste of his program. I
Yeah.
just wanted to pull that up, and that's a slow day. That's a slow day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely it is. We've
Let me
found
ask-
backpacks down there. We've found, I mean, you know,
Homemade salve.
oh
They
yeah.
would like get blistered and stuff.
You know,
Well,
we've hit this
phone
subject
charge.
before. Let me ask Tess and Andrew, with as many people that come across the border illegally, we have talked on here before about not the possibility, but the reality that Middle Eastern people are crossing that border, posing as
it's happening,
yeah.
as Guatemalans and Mexicans and stuff. And why is it that the majority of people crossing that border are military-aged fighting men?
Yep.
Yep.
It'd be
Oh,
very
so they are.
easy for Middle Eastern people with their dark skin, dark hair to pose, oh, I'm a Mexican, I'm trying to get to America to have a better life, yet they're looking for a convenience store that it can blow up with a whole bunch of Americans in it.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you know, one of the things I'm always worried about, obviously, we're here in oil country.
Right.
You know, you get enough guys over here that set some explosives on some of these tanks, and
We're screwed.
yeah, and that's enough to disrupt the world economy. I mean, we're making enough oil out here to where you do some damage on some pipelines or some tanks or whatever, you know, that's enough to absolutely throw off the world economy and crush this country 100%.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It needs to stop. It needs to be done. I always get in trouble because I can shut that border down. I can shut it down pretty darn good in about 48 hours, but I'm sure my methods will not be popular by most of the people because I will put the military there. I will put the military. I would. It's an invasion. So as in the Constitution, what is it? Article 3, Article 4. Yeah. You're supposed to, as the President of the United States, protect your border from all invaders. Okay. This is an invasion. I'd shut it down with orders to shoot to kill. I wouldn't care. And I guarantee you they're going to quit coming if they get killed. Now, granted, they're not all going to quit. There's still going to be some trickle through, but I guarantee you it will shut down most of it.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask you, Clay. Tess Andrew, in case y'all don't know, the guy's an encyclopedia of the Constitution. But doesn't the president have the power? I mean, that's one power he absolutely holds, is to shut down the borders because his primary job is to protect the American people.
Yeah, it's actually his duty as president. It's one of the powers that's actually written into our Constitution in our articles that is one of his priorities is to actually protect the border of the United States from all invaders. That is a duty of the United States president, and he's not doing it.
I really feel like there is something else at play here. It's not just, you know, there's a reason why they are letting this border stay open like that. You know, just the other night, what was it? I guess 2 nights ago, one of the judges or the court somewhere ruled that Texas could protect the border if the federal government wasn't going to do it. And we woke up the next morning and they said, yeah, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, it actually there was a Supreme Court ruling, and then an appellate court decided to overturn a ruling from previous and throw it all into limbo. I mean, this is all tactics. It is to put an army here on the ground, just like, you know, here when I posted, that was a big long one I posted up here, and that was the federal judge in Illinois, Sharon Johnson Coleman. That was the judge. Ruled that the federal ban on illegal, they call them undocumented immigrants. No, they're not. They're illegal aliens but basically said that and ruled that they can own firearms now because it's unconstitutional to keep them from owning them based on brewing because there wasn't a historical use. They're illegals. They have no rights under our Constitution or our laws.
Well, so there you go.
But this is being done on
Megan knows all
purpose.
about it.
California is making it to where illegals can get driver's license. What's it do when you get a driver's license? You're able to vote. You're able to get a gun or whatever, which California's screwed up anyway.
Right.
How can they get a firearm legally? They have to do a background check.
Well, the 4473, which is what we all fill out if you're buying
changes every time I buy a dang gun.
Yeah, well, the new one just went into effect. And when you buy a gun from an FFL, and I'm not talking private sales, but when you buy one from an FFL, you have to fill that out, and then you go through the NICS background. But right on that form, it asks, "Are you an illegal alien?"
Well, see, right. I got a crazy idea. What if they didn't buy them legally?
Oh no! Imagine that. Exactly.
I'm sure it never happens.
Clay and I and most of our friends determined long ago when they do outlaw guns, we're all going to be wealthy people.
No, absolutely.
You're looking at the biggest gun runner in the Midwest, man. I'm telling you.
Let me say one thing here for Andrew. He brought up a good point, and this is something that I've been wanting to bring up for one of our shows coming up. There's a show coming on Hulu, and it is about it's a fictional show in the future. A bunch of pansy-ass activists this show is going to show you how to blow up pipelines.
Wow.
And you got to look it up. I got to remember what the title is. It'll find it real quick, but it's on Hulu. It's coming up. And it's a show about, the tough struggles that these kids have trying to make their point. And their point is that they're going to blow up pipelines. They make handmade bombs and they're going to blow up pipelines. And I'm like, this is one. It is one of those things where it's irresponsible to put that type of stuff out there.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have one question to all that. One question. How are they going to get there?
Oh no! I hate to say it, but as far as I know, is on pipelines. I mean, look, they're going to drive from Omaha all the way over to the Sandhills or whatever it is, and find a pipeline. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be a day trip for them.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like Fargo. You got all the liberals in Fargo, but they're going to drive out and find a vacant pipeline, and they're going to start blowing them up. And there's just and then all of a sudden they're going to be like, the government's going to be like, well, we don't know how this happened. Well, it happened because you're letting it happen. It's not me. It's not Tess. It's not Andrew. It's not Vance. It's not Clay. We're not the ones out there being terrorists and destroying the country, and stopping people's ways of lives. We just want we want our president to secure the border. We want our homes and our neighborhoods to be safe. I don't know why that seems to be such a radical idea.
Because then we're free people.
Yeah.
And then the one thing that they have not been able to accomplish yet, that every other nation that left our form of type of government, they've never really had what we had, but they were close. They have not been able to disarm us yet. And
they try.
That's because we're pretty set into that, and we have a Second Amendment. We're the only country that's ever been enshrined that in our basic documents that founded the country.
Yep.
And I got to show you this. So I did pull it up here. Right there it is. Might be hard to see, but question right there. Are you a non-immigrant alien? See instructions for question 11.1. If you answered no, don't respond to question 12. If you are one, then you're supposed to fall within the exception set forth in the instructions. Well, if you answer that you are on that, you're done. You're not going to pass the background check. So, but that's if you, like you said, Andrew, if you buy them legally. Of course, everybody buys a gun legally that's a criminal, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I always say this. The concept of being a criminal is you don't follow the law. So therefore, whatever law they make, they're not going to follow it.
Doesn't apply to you.
It doesn't exactly.
The laws they're trying to pass will be, Clay, when you leave all the guns to the boys, when I leave my guns to the kids, when you leave your guns to Jack, the laws they're trying to pass, they're going to make that to where our boys are criminals because they didn't get an FFL on those guns.
They're already trying to. They've been trying many times.
Well, we talked about it last week, Vince. I mean, that's exactly what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
No, I just saw a comment pop up about the leftist cities, and if they get attacked, that's their problem. But the thing is, it's not just those that are going to get attacked. It's everybody.
Well, they're going to come there, but they're going to hit here too. They'll eventually get out here. I know that people like me and you and we all know who we are. We're not going to back down. Can we survive? Depends on how many there are. I mean, I got a lot of stuff, but I don't have enough to, it's going to take an army on our side too.
Yeah.
Like I keep telling you, Mike and Vance, just get here, okay? Because if we put
and drop a pin.
What's that?
I said, and drop a pin.
Yeah, we'll be right there behind them.
I don't think pins are going to work. I might have to give you the old-fashioned map.
Yeah, we're going to have to
know where Clay's at, and I do.
Some pre-drawn maps out there for you. So yeah.
I mean, we actually did a whole thing about survival skills and what happens if you need to bug out. And like Mike mentioned, I got the Missouri River to cross. Well, there might not be bridges, and if there are, who's controlling them, and what's it going to cost you to get across?
Right.
I mean, if we're talking what could happen and everything falls apart, that's what you're going to face.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm glad I live where I do. I keep telling people I never thought living in the middle of the reservation would be the freest place on earth, but it is right now.
Yeah.
So when I left South Dakota, I'll admit one of the things that crossed my mind, as you know, I left because of family. I mean, grandbabies being born and stuff. We had to get back close to the babies. But one of the things that crossed my mind was, if it goes down, this is where I want to be. Not down south in highly populated big city areas. I want to be up there in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But I know if it goes down, I know what I need to do and where I need to go.
When our areas like Texas and New Mexico and Arizona and California right along the border, that's going to be ground zero.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And I've actually had this discussion with a few people. Depending on what happens and how it goes and where it starts, I think the borders are going to be, in this situation, like you said, ground zero. Maybe we need to send reinforcements down there. Maybe we need to be down there and help organize. And let's just face it, a few of us have skills, okay? And we can bring people that have skills. And it's going to be, we're probably all going to have to defend our own border because we're not going to get no help.
Yeah.
That's the way it's going to be.
We have a friend, Tess Andrew. He was on here earlier. He may still be on. But he is such an avid shooter, and he knows his property so well. He can sit on his porch or his shooting bench, and he can tell you how far that rock is, how far that hill is, how far that is.
I like it.
He can dial it in. If anybody comes over, he can dial it in, and boom.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to go a little long here. If you guys want to stick around, Andrew and Tess, a little bit.
Absolutely.
Why don't we, let's take another advertisement break, pay some bills, and then we'll come back and do another 10, 15 minutes and wrap it up.
Want to do one or two?
Two. Let's go
for two. All right.
Let's go.
Located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Discover the world of firearms at Bismarck's Double H Gun Shop. With a wide range of products from handguns to rifles, we cater to all your shooting needs. We are your local gun experts. Not only do we sell firearms, reloading supplies, targets, and whatever your heart desires, but we also have a ton of knowledge and answers.
We shoot, we hunt, we compete, we reload.
It's been the Howard's way since 1976, and we ain't fixing to change anything. Visit our website at hhgunshop.com to browse our inventory. Double H Gun Shop, Bismarck's best new and used firearm, reloading supply, gunsmithing, and sporting goods store. Double H Guns.
Double H Guns.
1021 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota. Call 701-223-4888.
All right. We're back.
We're back.
Doing a little private chat there in the break. So
there we go.
Yeah, we're going to stick around basically because you guys are all listening. So thanks for sticking in there with us.
Yeah, I do appreciate
we all know that about an hour 15, everybody starts saying, hey, it's been a good night, but I'm gonna cut out. But yeah, I really think we've got a really interesting show here too. So thanks for sticking in there with us, and we'll go a little bit longer and we'll call it.
And we've only hit on a little bit.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said, and we've only hit on a little bit.
Yeah, I mean that just tells you how complex some of these issues can be. Yeah. Really, we could do a whole show on the border. And the one thing I wanted to touch on was the gun thing, and I think we covered that. We talked about what's happening there. That's what's going to create the standing army that's already here. When you watch these people come across and they get interviewed and they know exactly where they're going, that's not a good thing. They got orders from somewhere.
Yep.
And they've got means. It's a horrible thing, and I think they're here. I think they're in the Dakotas. We know they're in Texas. No. I'm pretty positive they're up here too. And I stay pretty vigilant. I don't really trust anybody anymore that I don't know around here. And I see a lot more people that I don't know in moving into this area, and that's not a good thing. So
no.
Megan Gilbert, she must be a friend of your guys', huh?
She is, yes.
All right.
Yeah,
I think I better mention her. She's been chatting, so that's great. Glad to have you listening tonight.
She's awesome. She's
we were actually hunting with her last weekend.
Oh, so that's who you were hunting with on the hogs, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So did you do any helicopter shooting, or was it all from the ground?
No, it was all from the ground.
Okay. I know Vance has been itching to hop in a chopper and
do
some hog hunting. Just get a chopper. Why don't you buy a chopper, Vance, and then we'll all come.
Yeah,
come on, Vance.
I'll jump right on that. We have a couple at work, but hey, wait a minute.
We need to film something, and then you'll need to use that, right?
You film a hog hunt.
There you go.
I'm trying to figure out how to share it real quick, but I found out that the very creative name for that movie I was talking about is called How to Blow Up a Pipeline.
Really?
That is actually the name. Wow. And if I can share it here real quick, I'm going to try. But well, I'll tell you what, technology is just a pain in my butt sometimes. So never mind. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I can share it. So let's see if you guys can see it or not. Yep, you see it? So this is it. How to Blow Up a Pipeline. It is a new movie out on your thing. So
just what we need.
Feel free for everybody to go out and check out the trailer online. Of course, it's at Hulu, but you can check it out on YouTube as well. But it is exactly what it is. Once you watch it, you just sit. You go. First off, the people that they're the little antis right here, the little crazy kids. They're not likable at all. So I don't know what they were really shooting for in this, but they show you how to make, as you can see in the video, they show you how to make the bomb that they're talking about doing this one, and where to go and how to avoid people and everything else. And if that is not, well, the epitome of
wow.
Well, and something about that, I'll say, growing up out here in the oil field and working in the oil field every day, I don't know. I hate to even say this on a broadcast, but there's a lot of places you can go out there and get to very crucial infrastructure, and nobody will ever know you're there.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen that in Wyoming, hunting out there in some of them places. You might see the rigs going or the pumps are going. There are some people don't realize there are pipelines out there too. I mean, there's an oil field, there's pipelines, and you could do whatever you wanted, and nobody'd even know you were there.
Well, you can look at a pipeline map This was going on back when they were talking about the big pipeline they shut down. I can't even remember the name of it.
DAPL? That didn't really get shut down though.
That got rerouted.
It was another one coming from Canada that was going to go through an Indian reservation.
That's the one. That's DAPL.
That's DAPL.
Yeah,
Okay.
It had a different name, but yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Dakota Access Pipeline.
Yeah. So when that was going on, there was a lot of people were pulling out these maps of the pipelines, and it's like, okay, you're against pipelines, but
it's the other one here. Right. Gene's got it. Keystone.
That's
Keystone Pipeline.
Keystone.
That was the other one.
Yep. But you look at the map of the pipelines, and people say, "Oh, we're against pipelines. We're against them." Which one?
Which one?
Right.
Thousands of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Waylon even chimed in. He says, he goes, they are here on the res and they filter through the North Dakota Capitol. Yeah, they come into Bismarck. And speaking of DAPL, that stuff was going on. What was that? 2000.
Oh God, it seems like yesterday, didn't it?
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
And then they came here. They did all that, and a bunch of them didn't leave. They're still around Bullhead. They're still around the area. They're within the res, and it was a bad element. They're the people making meth and fentanyl and things like that. They never left.
I've got some stories about that, and I bet Waylon does too.
Waylon does too, and that's a whole episode by itself.
Yeah.
It became its own little city with no rules, none whatsoever.
Disgusting, horrible stuff.
I can only imagine.
Keystone, Gene, you're right. Keystone was the one they actually shut down. And all that pipe sitting up there, a bunch of it up there by Scranton, North Dakota. I don't know what they're going to do with it now.
I'll tell you what, buy it up cheap and bury it and turn it into a shooting range.
There we go. Some ain't big enough for that, but some would be.
All right.
All right. Well, I guess. So, Tess, tell us where your next. When's your and Andrew's next big hunt going to be?
I'd be curious to know, after being on such an elaborate and awesome hunt, what is next? What is your bucket list beyond?
Well,
such a great hunt?
I mean, I have a bucket list, but I don't like all hunts are my favorite. I don't care if it's hogs, predators, a coon, deer, Africa, the bison last year.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. And I still get, to this day, I still get buck fever. I still shake. I still can't catch my breath. My heart beats the crap out of me. But I don't ever want to lose that feeling either, So in May 7th, I think it is, we fly out for the Legends Ranch in Michigan. And we're going to do some turkey hunting up there.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that. So I won that hunt last year at SCI in Nashville.
Awesome.
So turkey
I want to make that so bad some year.
It's a blast, man. We look for you every year. You've never been there.
It's only about 4 hours from me. It's an easy drive. Tracy and I love to go to Nashville. Our son lives in Tennessee, and when we go up there, we like to stop and hit Broad Street and go to Robert's Western World, get some food, listen to some bands and stuff. We love Nashville, but it's right next to the Super Bowl, and I just can't make it. I have to work that show every year.
It's like Texas Trophy Hunters, our West Texas SCI SCI SHOT Show is just so much at once.
Right.
Your dad says you need a Kentucky elk hunt.
He's right. And I put in for it for about 15 years and I never had
we actually have elk here in North Dakota, and we got big elk in North Dakota, but that's a tough. I don't even know if they let non-residents hunt it, but it's a tough tag. Now, Waylon, he can probably give you more information, but there are elk on the res out there up in the Porcupine Hills, and they've got some huge elk as well now. But I think you can, as a non-resident, buy an elk tag in Standing
reservation.
Yeah. So that might be something, and that's just about 100 miles just to the east of me.
What's crazy out here in West Texas, we've got some monster elk, and they are considered exotics in Texas.
Oh, really?
Free range elk. Free range elk, they're out there in Southwest Texas, and they're considered exotics. You can shoot them day, you can shoot them night, you can hunt an elk with thermal if you wanted to out here.
Really?
That'd be cool.
Any time of the year you can shoot it.
Hey, thanks to me, we can use the 50 BMG to hunt big game in North Dakota. I'm not kidding. I thought there was going to be
a hell of a hunt.
And I found out that unless you go to a private ranch or something, there's really no states. There might be one other one now, but at the time, no other state you could legally use a 50 BMG, a 50 caliber to take big game you can in North Dakota now. And I was really disappointed because I was ready for the fight with that jackwagon at Game and Fish, and he surrendered basically. So I'd done my homework. I was ready for everything, and I had it ready to go.
I've seen some guys out here in Texas that do some. They're just playing around and seeing what a 50 BMG would do to a doe, just a whitetail doe. And I know there was one guy that shot. He missed. He was trying to do a headshot. And he missed the head, but the bullet went so close by the face, it actually killed pulled the eyes out and killed the doe.
Wasn't that Keith Warren who did that?
I think it was Keith.
Because Keith's been doing a ton of 50 Keith. BMG stuff. Yep. Yeah,
I think it was Keith.
Clay and I don't remember who else was there. We have shot prairie dogs with 338 or 338 Lapua and 50 with the 50 Barrett. Yes. And what it does is basically make a little poof.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are shooting like a 660 full metal jacket, green jacket. That goes right through. But Keith was using something different. To me, it emulated, remember the old silver points from Winchester?
Yeah.
Well, somebody's making them, and I forget. If you watch some of his shows, I'm sure I could ask him. But he knows where to get those bullets and whoever builds them for him. And honestly, at the distances you're shooting a 50 BMG at even the biggest game, it just punches through. I mean, because think about how that cartridge is designed. It's not designed for 100 and 200 yard shots, but it just punches through and it does a heck of a job. It knocks them down and kills them, but it really does not wreck the meat. Everyone has this vision. Oh, it's a 50 BMG. It's going to tear it. It really doesn't. It really doesn't.
Yeah, it depends on the yardage for sure.
It does. So I got to put this out because JD asked, what is Tess's favorite hunting rifle and what is her favorite all-around cartridge? And I think we kind of we did say something about that. Because he says that the 223 is America's cartridge.
No.
I mean, I like a 223 because it's really not a bad gun. But, 30-06 was my go-to for a long time. The 270 Browning is nice. And here lately, I've been shooting the 6.5 PRC Mauser.
Oh, okay.
I've been doing that one for a couple of years. It's like I get attached to one, and that's what I shoot for a little bit.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. There you go. Now you have the answer. So I just pulled this up here. I'll see if I can share it quick, being we're talking.
My Mauser rifle holds 10 rounds.
Yeah, that's true.
Perfect. So I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but this is the Standing Rock Sioux Tribes. This is the elk season. This was 2023, just to give you an idea. They had their elk hunting dates, archery, were 9/02/23 to December. And then the elk rifle was basically just 30 days later to the end of December. There were 10 tags available. There were trophy bull tags. They weren't too bad last year. What, $1,000 for the license, which really
Kentucky's $10.
What's that?
No, it's $10 to get in the draw.
Right.
Yeah. $1,000 to buy the tag, which I've seen them.
No, that's not bad at all.
Tags. No. And to me, that's not far away. I could spend more than that going somewhere. And then you got your cow. They were $500. It was a $20 entry fee and you could put 5 entries in, which I found was in there. A little different twist on that than what the states do. And there was an auction. So I imagine, and Waylon, he touched on this. He said that there's going to be, I think he said here, coming up pretty soon, there's going to be the draw coming up for them tags. So, and I guarantee you, I bet you Waylon would take you guys out if you drew a tag because he knows where they all are.
The reservations have some great hunt opportunities. I've got an elk out here. That's an inside joke.
Yeah, I know it is.
But I've got I've got an elk out here, a beautiful elk, 9x7. That I
9x7.
9x7. That I got on the Cheyenne Indian Reservation. What's that?
I'm not sure if I heard you right. That's huge.
Where'd you take that at? I forget. You took that down
Cheyenne River.
Oh, well, Cheyenne. Okay, well,
Cheyenne River, and it was it was on the reservation. It was guided, $500, and I got a beautiful big bull. And that was a fun hunt. It was a funny hunt because it was 6,000 acres. It was high fenced, to be honest, but it was 6,000 acres. I had to go find.
No, absolutely.
I had to go find the elk. But the guide comes to me and says, "Hey, we've got a big hole in the fence, and they've gotten out. So they basically shutting down everything." And he asked me, "Can you ride?" I said, "Yeah." So we saddle up some horses and we go herding freaking elk at the neighbor's place to get them back through the fence.
Wow.
Well, we finally get some back through. We get everything patched up. Now the elk are so stirred up, they're gone.
Yeah.
You know, you would think, okay, you got them back through the fence, go find one and shoot it. They're gone because they're all stirred up. So it took a couple hours to even find them again. But getting back to the hunt itself, the reservations offer some great opportunities that are very affordable, and they have some great animals. In the Cheyenne River and Standing Rock's getting some very large elk out there.
There's some huge.
I always find it so funny. Like you mentioned the high fence thing. I always find it so funny that people, hunters,
I hate it.
They get on this tangent about a high fence, and it's like
once again,
all of South Africa is high fence.
They don't get it, do they?
If you did not have a high fence in South Africa, there would be no animals left.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the hunting over in South Africa is about conservation. That's its whole goal. And they don't understand that without those hunters, they don't get it.
No. But I get it. People say, "Oh, it's high fence hunting." You just
even here.
It's a canned hunt. You just walk out there and shoot it, right? It's like a pet. No, it's not like that at all.
They envision us with cows, I think, is what. Oh, you must have.
Well, that's why we have so many people out here on the western side of the state and over in Wyoming always getting attacked by buffalo because it's the fluffy cow.
Yeah,
it's just a fluffy cow. Go up and pet it. Let's go get a photo with it. Yeah, dummies. Anyway,
I'm getting questions, Clay, about the Marlin 22. Let me give a quick story. Me and Clay and Waylon, Little Eagle, that's on here, were on our way to Riverton, Wyoming, to do a long-range shooting clinic with Lucid Optics. We were going over there to spend the weekend shooting and getting educated on long-range shooting. Well, I'm asleep in the back seat of this pickup truck, somewhat asleep. And these two are up front, and they're talking this caliber, that caliber, this caliber, that caliber. I have this, I have that, I have this, I have that. These guys have more guns. So I'm groggy. I wake up and said, "I have a Marlin 22." And I laid back down and went to sleep.
We're like, shut up.
So it's been an inside joke that I just have a Marlin 22.
It's a Marlin 22.
It's a good gun.
It's a good gun. We've been talking about doing a badass of the week type of thing where we read a story about somebody. And you guys brought up the 50 cal thing. And I had just saw this last week and wanted to talk about the guy. His name was Carlos Hathcock, famous U.S. Marine.
Jamie and I did a thing on them. Yep.
Yeah.
He was
so his world distant record with an M2 dedicated sniper platform was 2,250 meters kill shot, and that's the M2 is the 50 cal, right? So yeah, that's
M2 Modus.
Yeah, so just amazing on that stuff. But
we actually did a whole thing. Jamie did a whole deal about him. That was last year when we were doing that. And we are going to bring back the Midwest Badass. We need to bring that back. We've had guys ask about it, so we'll get it done. Corey was working on it, but Corey, I don't know where he is tonight. I know he's busy doing some things.
We gave his number out so much the women keep calling. He's trying to hide.
Keep calling him now. He's a single guy. He's part of our crew here. We put his number out there on the live stream. So, and we even tried to bring him a date home from Florida, but it didn't work.
I don't remember her name now.
I don't even want to know that story.
Some things are better left unknown.
We're a lot of fun. I'm telling you, we're all gonna have to get together and go hunting sometime.
I've been trying to get them to come to Florida and hunt hogs with us, Clay, on our annual hog.
Yeah,
we need
swamp buggies, 4-wheelers, campfires, and
kill stuff.
It'll be great. It's like every time you're doing something, we've got something going on with the nonprofit with all the kids or veterans. And
hey, you know what? Since you mentioned that, Tess, before we end the show, can you guys tell us? I know you guys do a lot with veterans and kids, and you do a lot to promote hunting with kids and stuff and charities. Can you give some plugs on that?
Yeah, so Andrew is the president of the branch here in the Permian Basin of Trinity Oaks Outdoors. So on April the 5th, we have sorry, they're fighting on my page, a clay shoot fundraiser. And then on the 6th, we've got a banquet, and it's just a one-time of year fundraiser, and it sets us for the year, and that's what we go by. May the 4th, we have an event. It's H2O connecting his to the outdoors. It's, Christian, faith-based. We run on volunteers, volunteers and donations only. And that's why we do our fundraiser events. The 4th, we do an event outside in the outdoors. It's kayaking, 22s, clay shooting with shotguns, archery range. We let them drive our side-by-sides, kayaks in the pond for 250 kids in one day from 8 o'clock until 5 o'clock. Granted, we're exhausted.
What time of year do you do that?
May the 4th this year.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we also do
June, July, we'll do a fishing event.
Yep. We got a fishing event.
And then in the fall, we'll do a dove hunt with all the kids.
Yep. And then, awesome. Among that, we're also doing, we've got a little veteran hog hunt. We're going to take, we take three or four veterans out, and we'll do a little thermal hog hunt with them. We've got some deer hunts coming up this year for kids. We do dream trips, last wish hunts. Actually had a kid down not long ago at Thumbtack at our ranch down in Batesville, Texas. He was, how old is he? 14? 13. Yep.
Muscular dystrophy.
He's already lived longer than the doctor said he would, and he just loves to hunt. So we got him down there. We were going for an axis. We didn't get I was actually proud of the kid. He didn't know if he was going to get another opportunity or not. And a young axis buck come out, and he said, no, I don't want to shoot that. He said, it's too young. It needs to grow some. And, he's just like straight up about it. Just had no qualms of letting that axis go, even though he didn't know if he was going to get another chance at one or not. And he ended up getting a pig down there. So he was really happy.
Good job.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is. And
as well, it's one of the other things that the giraffe hunt has led us into.
Yep.
Good. And that's Permian Basin. What's it called? So people can look it up.
It's Trinity Oaks Outdoors Permian Basin Branch.
Yeah.
There you go.
Just Trinity Oaks. I haven't put outdoors on it.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, we're getting close to where we're going to have to cut it off. We don't go up against the clock too often, but this has been a good show.
It's been a good time.
Where can they find you? Do you guys have any social media that you want them to look
at?
Yeah,
so the website is trinityoaks.org. And then we have Trinity Oaks Permian Basin Branch on Facebook.
Yep.
There you go.
You heard it right here, guys. You know where to find it now, and go check it out. Tess and Andrew, I want to thank you guys. I think this has been a great show. Hopefully we'll come back again.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
I'm serious. I know you talked about getting up here. Stay in touch with Vance and us, and I think we'll make something happen. I really do.
Absolutely.
He sends pictures from every Super Bowl.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to just quickly tell you that Jamie's going to have 701 Nation coming on episode 6 this week. He's going to be discussing rumors of short suppressor wait times. Is that true?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest threats to mule deer, according to an Outdoor Life magazine article. Are soft point bullets a thing of the past? Nah, I think they're still going to be around forever. That's my opinion. 6 things you might not know about Ruger, and then the celebrity scumbag of the week. So you're going to want
I can't wait to hear it.
That's probably an easy choice.
Yeah.
That's
a lot to choose from. A lot to choose from on that one.
It is. And I believe it's going to be Friday night at 7 p.m. Central. Jamie, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's usually when he does that. So tune in, 701 Nation, guys. Same place you hear every single week.
I had one thing is I told everybody that we were going to be doing the waffle flamethrower giveaway. And, of course, we're going to hold off until next week because we still got a couple of tickets out, and we want to make sure everybody's got their stuff in. So we're holding off until next week's show, right?
Next week's show is the plan to do it. And I know we got a couple more tickets we're waiting on, like you said. And we got to have, if they bought their ticket, they need to be in the raffle. So next week we'll plan to do it on Wednesday night. Jamie said I got it wrong Thursday. So tomorrow night Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time, 701 Nation. Don't miss it, guys. I think it's going to be a good show as well. So, again, thank you guys for being on the show. Appreciate it, Vance, for hooking us up. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great show. And anybody that was listening new, like, subscribe. You know the routine. Go do it. And
don't forget this really cool. Where is it? It's up. Point at it.
Here.
It's up there. The barcode we've got up there. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. The barcode we've got up there right above Tess.
Now you can
there we go.
Good,
now I can point. There we go. So the barcode we got up there, don't forget that if you still want to get in for the waffle for the flamethrower, you still can right there. Apparently we've got just a couple more left. And if you want to help out the show at all, of course, we're always upgrading equipment and everything else. We'd love to hear from you from that as well. You can drop us some coin on there and help out the 701 Nation and gunsinthe701.com.
And our website, as always, is www.gunsinthe701.com. I'm probably the only old guy in the world that says www first still. So, but I grew up without the internet. So,
old.
All right. Well, with that, Mike, I'm going to let you close out the show. Thanks for listening, everybody. 6 o'clock p.m., 7 o'clock Central Time. Every Wednesday night and Friday mornings at 8:15 Central, 7:15 Mountain on KFYR 550. Mike will be there this time.
Yeah.
We join Todd Mitchell for Mitchell in the Morning with our Guns in the 701 right there on 550 AM. Catch it on iHeart or wherever else you find your radio stations and podcasts. All right.
Vance, you want to take us out with a prayer?
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to gather and discuss our freedoms that you've blessed us with in this great nation. We lift up our representatives in this country, Lord, and just pray that you give them godly wisdom. And Lord, we pray for a mighty touch in the hearts of our representatives in D.C. And Lord, we just pray that you continue to guide this wonderful nation. And in this election year, Lord, we just pray for godly wisdom and everyone going to the polls and everyone running for their positions, Lord. We thank you for our military, Lord, and those overseas in active duty. We ask that you bless them and bring them home safely. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right. We got about 40 seconds left, guys. Let's take her out.
I'll hit the button.